In this exercise, we'll use the FileZilla FTP server for Windows, added as a new application service to Application Director 5, and to show you the non-out-of-the-box abilities of the product. The goal of this exercise will be to provide a new application service with FileZilla server, provide some inputs for the deployer later on, the location where to find the install binaries, and set a password to connect to a share to inject some XML configuration data later on. We'll also add another out-of-the-box McAfee antivirus and inject a custom script where the deployer will be able to select the folder that will be created part as a post-application deployment step. As once the FileZilla server is installed, we want the application consumer to directly use a new folder on the new Windows server. Okay, let's show you some actions here. We log in to the App Director 5 environment. Excuse me, I'll be logging in as a catalog owner who will only have the user rights to add new application building blocks, the so-called application services, to App Director 5. So here you'll see a lot of predefined application building blocks. So we'll add a new one and we'll give it the name Neo Application Service or something like that. Of course, feel free to use your own naming convention. And we'll give a brief description. For everything we add to the system, a new version is created. So it's very easy later on to go back and forth to former configurations. Here you see the tagging. It's using the tag mechanism that like find everywhere on internet. And here you see I've defined an own tag, Neo App Services. So later on in the blueprinting configuration, I'll find my way to the things that I've added to the system. I also add the OS templates which this version will support, and some scripting or post-install media steps I can add. The next steps is to provide properties for this service. Remember, we need to first define where App Director will find the FileZilla executable to install the service. I'll define it as a required property and an overridable one. So at provisioning, the user could set another location here. So here I define it as content, and I copy paste now an HTTP location, or it can be a UNC folder share path, wherever you store your executables. Now, as a next step in the actions, for the install action, I define a new Windows script, or I could have used PowerShell, but I'm not a PowerShell guru, so I'll just use plain scripting. And I can adapt my code here. So I'll copy paste now just the command to install FileZilla, and I'll show you how the property injection will be done. So let's copy paste the command to install FileZilla server with the command S for silent, and I'll inject the location. See, the FileZilla bins property are defined, so what the user will type in will be injected in here at deployment time. Now remember, I wanted to inject something, so here I provided second property for the user to set a password to connect to the share, where I will retrieve my XML configuration file and inject it as a post-application deployment step. Again, I can put a default value here. I define it as secure because I want to store a default password not visible for the user. In this case, it's only VMware, plain. And now I'll reuse this property value in the configure step script that I will inject into the service. So now I'll just copy paste some scripting. It's just easy. I connect to a share on our file server. I delete the default configuration of the FileZilla service. And here you see that I'll inject the password property that I've just created. This is really showing the power of this tool. See? Voila. Sets up everything. Okay, so I retrieve the file, I copy it, and then we disconnect the share again. It's a simple script. This is our configure step of the FileZilla application service. So the only thing is left to save this application service. So our first building block is ready. Okay, I've added some empty properties, so this is the warning. So here we find the new app service into our standard service building blocks. We'll reuse later on are defined. So this concludes my demo. I hope it gives you a clear view of the basic and advanced abilities of Application Director version 5. See you in the next recording. Thank you.